Hey fast fellas, SpeeDMan here, and welcome to this episode of our Let's Play Sejong. So in today's episode, we're actually going to be doing a couple things. First things first, we are going to pick Moksha, and then what we're going to do is settle him in here so that way we can start displaying some pressure along this area. Now, we have a really good position here to go ahead and actually buy another settler here. It's going to delay these settlers a little bit, but the reason we want to do that is specifically because we need to start settling eastbound immediately. It is very, very critical that we go ahead and start doing that. So we will start to make our way across. Now that also means that we need to start securing this area a bit more heavily. So he is friendly. He can still technically declare war, but he should be okay for the most part. Okay, so we are now going to settle this new city. Start expanding our outreach a little bit more. Just put us in a better position so that way we're not going to be lagging behind. And yes, we started off with a pretty tall build. It's turn 104. Normally I would have more cities at this point, but I wanted to make sure that we were in a position where we actually had more tempo with our smaller cities to focus on that growth because we need that science output. That's what's going to grow us in the long term. And as I expected, he backs off. He saw that in his position, it's not as viable for him. In the distance up north, I can hear religions spreading, so that is something I'll have to be aware of. I can hear it kind of going around this area, so she's effectively losing her religion. You can see here, Judaism is kind of taking control of it, so that's good for us. It means that area is being controlled a bit more, but we will need to settle up our religion later on, so that'll be our next era goal. A dam could actually be the play. That could very well be the play here. So we might consider that. And because of what we have here, we have two cities with universities. We are getting some pretty strong value out of this. I am actually going to skip out on this particular one. This is a nice one, do not get me wrong. But the problem is that if I go for this one, there's a small chance that Isaac Newton potentially could be available. And if I can get Isaac Newton, that is going to be absolutely critical. And I mean critical. No, dude. Somebody else built Petra. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's such a crappy Petra build. No. No. Pain. Pain. Pain, dude. 250 science for each adjacent. Did we just get... We just got two great scientists! Are you kidding me? What? What? I'm going over here, because Galilei, 250 science for each adjacent mountain tile. Well, if I go to a place with 5 mountain tiles, that's 1,250 science. If I do that to boost some other stuff, I could use that huge burst of science, and I wonder if that is going to proc our ability here with Hangul, and that is going to give us a super, super burst. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of conversion work towards these cities. We'll do 1 charge here and 2 charges here. That way we can go ahead and get a little bit more presence here, not have to worry about that. And then we will eventually consider getting more spreads to account for this region, so that'll be a good way for us to get that little bit of extra push here. You can see some of our cities are starting to convert. That's good. Hers is pretty much surrounded by Judaism for the most part, so we will need to do quite a bit of work here to protect ourselves from that. And let's go ahead and let's get that missionary. And what we'll do is we'll bring him over here so we can do some conversions here. Just help make sure our religion is the majority religion here. We already are making a conversion, but I want to go ahead and just hasten that process a little bit. What got improved? 4 tiles gain fertility. So that doesn't look like it really gained much. I actually did gain 1 fertility, I think. That's a 5-1 still. That's a 3-1, and that's a 4-2 tile, dude. That is so good.
It's all papers and...
We'll just go ahead and cross over, kill that unit. I'm actually kind of wanting to check around that area because there's a chance that area could potentially have another city-state, and I want to just be sure if there is a city-state or not. Awesome. So we've got our first industrial zone, so that's fantastic. Temple is now done, so that's good. Basically gives us a little bit more faith output, but more importantly is going to allow us to start getting apostles. So apostles are going to be expensive, but can definitely be useful for us, so I'll happily take them. Hoping he maybe settles like in this area, because I can kind of work around that. If he settles there, he should start losing loyalty. I will certainly and very happily take the additional constant faith output. It'll definitely help us, and we'll go ahead and do that. That means our religion is going to be a little bit more firmly placed in, so that's good. Getting this, actually, getting the city converted to our religion is going to actually apply a little bit more pressure to the city. Yeah, that's going to be really good. So we're going to work on... yeah, let's go for diplomatic visibility. That would definitely be a good thing. And then we will go into that, improve that. It's going to give us an error score. And we're definitely going to target that. The heroic age actually might be the big play here. So that could be the play. Let's go for this. There we go. So we just improved these two a little bit more. And that will get our capital growing. I want our capital to start catching up now. Our capital's been very slow growing, so it's important that we go ahead and really get that rolling. We met Kabul. Okay, so Kabul's an interesting one. That one, what it does is basically we can get double XP from battles we initiate. Not really something we're going to be able to use effectively. It's not going to be something we're prioritizing because of the way our build works, but isn't a bad one. Mitla is definitely one we are going to need to prioritize getting back. So eventually, once we have access to a position where we can use that, that's going to be good. What's going to happen is that I am going to try to bring this scout over, secure 5 more error score from the complete circumnavigation. I think we're the first person to do that, so that'll be 5 error score. And then we're going to make a very much of a mad dash to try to pick up this great scientist here, Alfred Nobel. Get that. That'll give us a little bit of tempo for all these other things, particularly this one right here. I could try to get that or the one after that, depending if it's a Wonder Production one. If it's a Wonder Production one, that could actually be better, because that could actually give us even more tempo for what we're trying to build. Specifically because this is going to cost 1,240 production. That's a ton of production, but that would be a huge thing for us to have. If we can pull off Oxford University, that is going to put us in a beautiful position.
Never again.
Ooh, Crater Lake. And there it is. There's the error score. Okay, so we don't need to worry about the religion until next era. That's huge. What we're going to do is we are going to take Ranger. That way I've got full movement for every terrain type. So we'll be pretty much good to go there. Excellent. 1 turn away on that, so that's good. With the amount of great scientist points that we have here, we're going to get a pretty substantial amount of increase. We're probably going to get into like 1,000, which will be really good. And now we're going to save up our gold a little bit more because we have 2 workshops to work with. So that's also giving us, in the process of all this, 10.3 great engineer points per turn. That is going to go up a little bit more than that as well.
The key words of violent economics.
Okay, cool. We got industrialization. That's really good. So we can go this way. It doesn't look like there's very much here. Go that way. Okay, so the next thing we could do is we could probably make our way to sanitation, so that way we can eventually get access to research labs. This would be the one of the next logical steps for us to consider later on. So once we get some more stuff done in this era. Oh, come on! Oh. Okay, well that ruins that setup. You know what? No, let's, is that a hill? That's hill. Okay, you know what? You know what? You know what? This is fine. This is fine. We're definitely going to take Harpy to Seam. I'm going to take these 3. I'm going to get Ancient Walls because I'm not really in the mood to have my cities get attacked here. And that also means I need to get this done. I need to get to population soon. 3 turns away from that, good. So we're going to get an envoy there, and plus having those embassies and delegations, that's going to actually give us a ton more diplo favors. So that'll definitely help. The government plaza coming up pretty soon, that is also a big benefit, so I'm happy to take that. I'm going to faith buy that. Yeah, so I'm going to get out of there. The city will start to lose its loyalty and convert to us anyways. So we'll be okay regardless, but I'd rather not, play that by chance. We have that done. So this is 12:30, so that's close. Let's bring you here, because those 2 charges will actually give us a massive amount of tempo towards that. You can check out this region. There's a lot over here I don't know about, and I need to see if there is potentially another city-state, or maybe 2. You never really know. And there's a lot of opportunity in what we don't know. Forbidden City was built by Gilgamesh. Okay, so that's fine. That means we could just invest in a gold power plant. So that's fine. I was wanting to target that. I didn't know Gilgamesh had that built. It was, oh, he probably built it in a place I just hadn't discovered yet, so that's the thing. That makes sense. So we've officially prepared all of our cities now, and we'll be in a pretty good spot. So as we go into the next turn, if the Oxford decides that it's going to randomly choose the 2 techs that are in the next era, we'll be in a good spot. So let's see.
Science owes more
Steam
to
power.
the Navy. Many of us
Replace
take
with,
better care
okay, yeah. So I'm really glad I did that, because that got done. So that could have been really bad. That would have actually potentially lost us some good position there. So let's see here. We'll leave that because that's going to be 1 turn. And we'll go into that afterwards. I think it's going to be a good play. We'll do that. There we go. And here we go. Excellent. Cool, 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 cool. We got that. Let's actually bring this up and repair some stuff. So now we can see that these cities here should, once we continue growing a lot more, we'll actually start to fill into a lot of these more higher production tiles. So if I went to like raw production, we see now instead of 42, we're at 48. So it was really important that I focused on that, because that gave us a lot of additional production, and that's kind of the key there. This city here, losing its loyalty a little bit faster now that we got that population, and it should once we get another population here. So good.
The Pantanal is...
Oh, there's another wonder. He's got a good one too. There we go. Okay, this is huge. So basically, we're going to be getting Eureka from the modern or atomic era. Computers, okay. But this boosts every single great person. That's painful. You know what? That's fine. This is fine. I got Hypatia. I got Isaac Newton. I can live without getting Albert Einstein as much as I really absolutely would have loved to have Albert Einstein. I'm going to go ahead and actually take the invention card off. And what I'm going to do here is put back on the serfdom card, because eventually I would like to invest fairly soon in a few more builders. And yes, that one builder is a little weaker, but I want to go ahead and utilize that in a position where I can gain some good value from it. So I'd rather chop that out early. This makes more sense. We'll keep that city. It's going to give us a couple heirs for it. Very happy. What we'll also do is we will not be able to build any sea wounds unless we were to buy tiles further out. Not really too worried about it. So this is a small little coastal city. We'll go ahead and just get the city up and running. Give it some food growth to work with. It's not really got that growth, and it's not going to for a good little while. And now, since we have one more charge, what we could do is we can kind of consider what we could work on. Now, it doesn't look like Patala Palace has been worked on yet, so we could potentially, after we build Taj Mahal, we could build Patala Palace in that spot there. And that could be very, very nice for us. That would just open up a little bit more flexibility with our diplomatic cards. So getting more diplomatic policy cards would definitely be good for us. What we want to do is get a lot of this other stuff built up, because usually what the AI will do is they'll typically beeline towards a certain tree. And while that is nice and all, for us, we actually have more of an advantage. We have a lot of the foundation, the roots of this tree. And we're just getting more branches built out. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. It's a bit of a longer one, but we've definitely made some solid inroads here. I'm extremely excited about where we are positionally with this particular build. We are really starting to potentially take off here. And we're at 300 science per turn at turn 191. It's pretty solid. You know, we've already got our alliances. We've got everything in place here. We're making a good amount of Diplo favors. So as we come up into the next session, we'll be in a good spot. I'm very, very excited. If you enjoyed watching this video, I'd like to ask you to hit that like button and subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching, and SpeeDMan out.